Chris?
John Roberts reporting from the White House. John, thanks. We're joined now in studio for an exclusive interview by President Trump's new White House Chief of Staff, Reince Priebus. Reince, welcome back to Fox News Sunday.
Good morning, Chris.
I want to start with Sean Spicer's extraordinary press briefing late yesterday afternoon where he excoriated reporters for their stories about the relative crowd size at the Trump inauguration and said they should instead be talking about Democratic delays to the confirmation of Trump nominees. Here he is.
That's what you guys should be writing and covering. That this, instead of sowing division about tweets and false narratives. The president is committed to unifying our country, and that was the focus of his inaugural address. This kind of dishonesty in the media, the challenging that bringing about our nation together is making it more difficult.
Then Spicer walked out without taking a single question from reporters. Reince, President Trump said in his inaugural address that every decision he makes will be to benefit American families. How does arguing about crowd size do that?
Because it's really not about crowd size. What it's about is honesty in the media. What it's about is from day one after winning this election and President Trump talking about bringing America together, having a unified American public around unified ideas, not Republican or Democrat, he's ready to get to work. However, the media from day one has been talking about delegitimizing the election, talking about the Russians, talking about everything you can imagine except the fact that we need to move this country forward. Now, we get done with the inauguration. First thing out of the media is that President Trump removed the bust of Martin Luther King Jr. out of the Oval Office. This is an explosive accusation, which could have had incredible ramifications given the history of the press on this subject matter. Turns out that it was completely false. I walked back into the Oval Office, saw the MLK bust there, and what did the media say? The media said, oh, our bad, someone was standing in front of the bust, we didn't see it. Can you imagine tweeting that President Trump removed the MLK bust? So that's the first day, day one. Not even, I mean, day like hour 3. Then the next day, they put a picture, it was a big story, before the speech actually began, showing all of this white space. Wasn't true. The New York Times then put a picture in the middle section showing the fact that the entire mall was completely full. The point is not the crowd size. The point is the attacks and the attempt to delegitimize this president in one day. And we're not going to sit around and take it. Sean's been doing press briefings every single day. This was a press...
this is his first one at the White House podium.
Press update. His first official press briefing for Q&A, and the press can ask him a million questions, is going to be on Monday.
You talk about honesty and say that this was about honesty. Well, there's another issue here, though, Reince, and that is the president's honesty, because two things that he said yesterday were just flat wrong, and I want to talk about them. First, crowd size. I'm going to put up, take a look at these pictures. We got monitors here.
There's another picture.
Let's take a look at those pictures. On the left, you've got the Obama inaugural crowd. On the right, you've got the Trump inaugural crowd. Which one is bigger?
Listen, you're also not saying that picture was taken before he was even speaking. I mean, I can take a picture of the mall right now.
I was there in the mall. I mean, let me say, first of all, I think this is a ridiculous conversation.
Right.
But there were huge areas. He said that there were crowds all the way to the Washington Monument.
There was. I was sitting there. Yes, there was. I was sitting there looking.
Look, I mean, you know what? Put up the picture again.
This is,
folks, put up the picture again.
You can keep putting the picture up, but I can take a picture. Look, wait a second. I can take an aerial picture right now, Chris. And I can say, look at the difference. If you're not comparing apples to apples, it doesn't matter.
I'm telling you that there were huge
you can keep telling me what you want to tell me.
All right,
the point is that instead of talking about the substance of what President Trump
you're the ones who did it.
said.
He could have given
No,
wait a minute. He could have given a news conference yesterday, talked about the agenda, talked about the signing, the executive actions he's going to sign, his legislative agenda. He talks about crowd size. Let me ask you about one other.
Wait a minute. Let's back up. We didn't tweet out that MLK Jr.'s bust was removed from the Oval Office. We didn't.
The reporter made a mistake. Wait a minute. The reporter made a mistake. He apologized, and Spicer sent him a tweet back saying, "Apology accepted."
Right. So these are the mistakes that are made. A reporter shoots first, aims later. I think the magnitude.
Are you saying there's a conspiracy here?
I'm saying there's an obsession by the media to delegitimize this president. And we are not going to sit around and let it happen. We are going to fight back tooth and nail every day and twice on Sunday.
Okay, let me talk about another thing. Mr. Trump said at the CIA that talk of a few